Good evening, sci-fi movie nerds, and welcome to another episode of the Sci-Fi Movie Guy. My name is Mike, this is Jason.
Hello.
And we're going to be doing the review of Season 3, Episode 17, Through Imperial Eyes of Star Wars Rebels. Jason, you weren't here last week.
No, I was not.
And I don't fault you for that in the least, because he was spending good quality time with his family like we should all be doing.
Yay.
But you're back this week, and what did you think of this episode?
I came back for possibly the best episode of the season. The episode was there. It was all right. The graphics were good. There were some good subtleties in it.
Tell us what you really think.
There wasn't a whole lot that happened in this episode. We got a little bit of story plot line move along.
Yeah.
And I think the implications coming out of this episode can be big, but the episode itself, not too big.
So why don't we start with what we liked? Let's just stick to the like stuff. And for me, there was very few things I liked about this episode. I'm not saying it's a bad episode because, you need these kind of episodes, the only big reveal was at the end when he knows it's Fulcrum. He knows that Kallus is Fulcrum. I think, the spoiler's always been up there, so if you guys didn't see it, that's not my fault. And what else would we talk about? It's Rebels.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, they could have had way more character development with Kanan in this episode and...
with Kanan?
Kanan and the pilot, Rex. Kanan and Rex.
Yeah, okay.
I think they could have had more fun on that trip and, gotten more into the Clone Wars stuff. And I think that could have made this episode better if they had focused more on that and less on how much time they spent with the two droids breaking out. Like, that didn't have to be dragged on so much. Just my opinion.
To me, the Kanan Rex... there was nothing there, just them traveling through space. So it didn't seem like more focus on that would mean anything.
But to me, those are the character building episodes.
Okay.
Like this episode, there wasn't a whole lot in the first 20 minutes until you get to the end for the end payoff.
Right.
And what I'm saying is if they would have done more in that shuttle with some character development between Rex and Kanan, I probably would have enjoyed this episode more.
Okay.
That's just my take on it, because I want to see what those two, they were fighting in the past. Remember, something could have come up.
They did get I think there was at least one line that we got a good laugh out of.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what the line was, but there was a good chuckle off one of their lines, and maybe they could have used a little more comic relief with some of their banter. I would have liked to seen a little bit more development with Fulcrum. I mean, or Kallus. The whole episode was about Kallus and about Fulcrum, and we got to see a little bit of development, but I would have liked to maybe see more of his motivations, more of him, the reasons why he wants to leave the Empire, or why he wants to serve the Republic.
Because really, the only reason we know that he wants to leave is way back from that episode with Zeb and Kallus when they were trapped on that planet together, and he sees how happy the rebels were to see Zeb get back, but nobody cared when he went back.
Right.
But is that enough to change?
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I mean, it certainly lays the groundwork for change, and it plants the seeds that you can see where it's going, but we need a little bit something more. Because he did seem to be getting a lot of respect from Yularen. They seem to have a little bit of a history there. And, he commands the attention of all of his underlings. So I would like to see a little more reasons why he's wanting to help the rebellion out.
Well, and when we were watching the episode, you pointed out at the beginning that they started it out as first-person point of view of Kallus.
And, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And which kind of made me think, well, we're really going to get into Kallus's head. We're going to find out all the motivations behind why he's doing what he's doing.
And it wasn't.
And then we didn't really get that payoff. Yeah.
I mean, we had a little bit of action at the end. The assassin droids were cool.
Yeah.
Seeing Thrawn fight was cool, but my biggest complaint about this episode is probably that they could be developing Thrawn so much more. If you've read the Timothy Zahn novels, the trilogy of Thrawn, he was such a integral part of the Empire. And to me, they're really underplaying what they could be using him for. Like, this could have been a real Thrawn-heavy episode, too.
Yeah.
And they could have developed that more. Because I think Thrawn has been utterly wasted this season. I haven't been really happy with any of his development yet.
Right. And like I think you had already said, I think this episode is going to lay the groundwork for a lot of stuff that's coming. Thrawn knows now who Fulcrum is. He nailed it right on the head. He's that mastermind that figured it out. So now he's going to be feeding false information to Fulcrum, and which is going to be an extreme disservice to the rebellion, to Fulcrum's advantage. And Thrawn, being that study of art that he is, he knows now, I think, where the rebel hideout is. Because I think that he knows exactly where each of those planets were. And when the one disappeared and the other one appeared...
He probably noticed right away,
I think he knew right away. Yeah. I think he knew right away, and he's just like, oh, everything's fine here.
I agree with you 100%. That is the one thing that they've developed, is that he notices all the nuances. And there was 93 planets to choose from, and he's got a pretty good brain, so he probably knew everyone and knew which one was leaving. And
well, he saw that helmet and he knew immediately, oh, this is Sabine's art.
Yeah.
Like, he has a keen eye. He's an extremely good study. So when that planet disappeared, he saw it right away.
So one of the things that I didn't like about this episode as well is I didn't think the music was all that great. And we had been talking in a few of the previous episodes how great the music has been in these episodes. And like I spoke last week about the last week's episode, how great the artwork was. The visual effects, everything. And this, again, I think they didn't spend a whole lot of money on this episode. Maybe because they're saving some money for some of the upcoming episodes. I don't know. What did you think?
I know for sure, like, in last week's episode, there was that big epic battle between Sabine and I can't remember the other Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Force music while they were lightsaber battling, so there was some epic things that happened, which we need epic music to go along with that. In this episode, there was a lot of sneaking around, a lot of hiding in the shadows, so that, the music didn't really jump out at you. And so maybe, like you're saying, maybe they're saving some coin for some big stuff that's coming up.
Well, we know there's going to be some pretty big episodes, because we're getting in 2 episodes, we're getting our Darth Maul Obi-Wan episode, and then
that's going to be good.
A 2-part season finale 5 episodes from now about the attack on Lothal. So we have 3 giant episodes coming in the next 5.
Right.
So we know there is some big episodes coming. I just think if you're going to cheap out on the effects and the music, let's get into character development.
Right.
And I didn't get enough of that.
Right. And as far as, I guess if you want to throw up the air quotes, filler episode, not as bad as some filler episodes. I mean, I did kind of like that there was some decent tension built in it, and Callus had a really good plan with switching out the security tubes, and so there was some good stuff that happened in it. It wasn't great, but as a filler episode, it was all right.
So you ready to score it?
I would say it's a good filler episode.
You ready to score it out of 10?
Sure.
Do you want me to go first?
No, I'll give it a 6.5.
Oh, you're higher than me.
Okay.
I would give this a 5.5 out of 10.
5.5. Okay.
Yeah, I just not a horrible episode. If it was horrible, it'd be under 5.
Right.
But to me, not one of the better episodes.
Yep. I agree.
So we know what we think, but we don't know what you guys think. If you could put it in the comment section below, let us know what you scored this episode out of 10. We would love to know. Your opinion matters to us. If you really like us doing these, if you could also do me a favor and click like on this video, subscribe to the channel. We'd like to know if you want us to keep doing them. We love doing them. Jason, where can the good people find you on social media?
Find me over at Instagram. I'm at Vintage Star Wars. Follow me, like me, hate me, whatever. I'm there.
And you can follow me on Twitter at MovieGuySci-Fi, or you can email me, movieguySci-Fi@gmail.com. And remember, everybody, nerds rule the world.